Okay, let's begin. So everyone, I'm gonna share my screen here. The idea would be to take you guys through this project preview orientation. We will then answer any questions that you may have, and via the Q&A, there's a Q&A board on this chat, and of course, follow up from there with any points that are important to be made, and of course discuss next steps as well. So, um, again, thank you all for joining today, and I'm excited to walk you through this project. I've been looking forward to it for a while. MILLCROFT, the Legacy, is one of those rare projects that when you understand what it actually is and where it sits, the story truly tells itself. So let's jump into it. The line that you see right there on the screen really is the line that says it all. This isn't a project that's asking you to imagine what might become. The neighborhood itself sits inside already, a highly established neighborhood that already has every single amenity you could possibly imagine. And what HALLETT Home has done here is find a way to bring brand new estate homes into a community that took 30 years to become what it is. That combination, the newness of the homes without displacement, kind of building on already the amazing character and the amazing fabric of the existing community, is exactly what makes this so unique. Before we talk about the project itself, let's really talk about who's building it. HALLETT Homes has been redefining luxury living in the GTA's West End for over a decade. They've won 18 industry awards, best-in-class standard construction specs and finishes. They're known for their architectural brilliance and a level of craftsmanship that shows up in every detail of every home that they've delivered. So you really are dealing with a builder that has built its entire reputation on raising the standard in every community that they enter into, and the legacy will be no different. What you're looking at here is HALLETT's geographic footprint across the GTA's West End. There's sites in Oakville and Mississauga and Burlington. Every pin here represents a community where HALLETT has delivered award-winning product to highly discerning buyers, and the legacy at MILLCROFT is the Burlington flagship. There is a very personal connection to that site. I won't get into it today, but just know that this community really does mean a lot on a very personal level to all the stakeholders at HALLETT. And the community itself sits at what could be argued as the center of the finest established neighborhood in Burlington. This slide here really matters more than people realize, especially when you're buying from a developer at this price point. Zero chargeable conciliations, zero claim, completely clean Terry on record. What you're seeing on the screen here is fully licensed across all entities, and in the next screen, really what you're looking at is when your client is spending $2 to $3 million on a home, the builder's warranty history is not, a footnote. It's a foundation of trust that HALLETT has earned on every single project that they've delivered. $0, as you can see here, paid in claims, zero outstanding, zero breach actions. This kind of track record is virtually, cannot be found in the GTA. I encourage you to go into the HCRA website and type in any developer that you may be aware of, that you know of, the big developers, the small developers, the boutique developers, the large scale developers, and you will not find a record that is this clean. And that's because HALLETT really does take pride in every single home that they deliver. And when you're presenting this builder to a client of yours who has and asks the hard questions, this is really the slide that answers many of them. The HALLETT difference here really is set up around three pillars: superior construction and structural standards, the premium materials that are built to last, and the elevated details as a standard. And what this means in practice is that the home your client walks into at closing is not the result of them spending a ton of money on expensive upgrades. Those expensive upgrades with other developers are actually the baseline. in a HALLETT home. And the standard, um, the standard and the materiality differences, we're going to come back to those and discuss them in more detail as we get through this presentation. Oakville, Mississauga, Burlington, there's 3 communities that are currently underway, 3 distinct markets, and 1 consistent standard here. So Joshua Creek, Montage in Oakville, Abbacott Hill, both projects are highly celebrated, award-winning HALLETT communities. The legacy is really that next chapter, the evolution, and in certain ways, it is, you know, one of the most compelling ones, given the location, the size of the homes, the size of the lots, um, and this is probably one of the best locations in the GTA. And you really only know it if you know Burlington well, and if you have kind of eyed that market for a while. What you see on screen here, Ben HALLETT, the founder of HALLETT Homes, said it here simply, and he means it. This is a builder that really measures success by what their homeowners feel when they walk through the front doors, and this is even after years of closing. The homes they build are meant to become the places that, you know, their families grow into, celebrate in, and pass on to future generations. So that philosophy really does show up in every decision that HALLETT makes about materials, construction, design. It's not just marketing language. It's not like a hook. It's the culture and the DNA of the company, and you're gonna hear that term DNA in a few instances here today. So now we're kind of getting into the project details. We're going to spend a few minutes showing you exactly why this address and this project is unlike anything else in the city of Burlington right now, and arguably in the west end of the GTA. So what we have is 90 homes, a finite amount of homes. This is a limited opportunity to get into an incredible community. The 90 homes here are set across um, several private cul-de-sacs, and every one of those enclaves is set with a very unique arrival experience that feels like nothing else in new construction. This isn't a master plan subdivision with hundreds of homes and years of build out ahead of it. This is a very curated, intimate collection of estate homes in a setting and in a neighborhood that is already complete. Burlington, you know, for those of you who may or may not know, Burlington does consistently rank among Canada's most livable cities, and from MILLCROFT, the best, you know, is already within reach. There's 5 minutes to the QEW and Highway 403, 5 minutes to Appleby Go. For those of you who need that commute in and out of the city, or even, you know, kind of west, 5 minutes to Bronte Provincial Park, 15 minutes to downtown Burlington and the waterfront, and 15 minutes to downtown Bronte. That commute really works, and the lifestyle is in many ways already there. This really here is the context that kind of puts it all together. MILLCROFT is, you can see it here in blue, is not a neighborhood that is still finding its identity. It arrived decades ago. The community itself has literally started construction, I believe, in the early 80s, or sorry, late 80s, early 90s. And it's not a community that is still looking for its identity. It's found that it's a force to be reckoned with, really, and it's never really lost its appeal. Established professionals, successful families, discerning residents who choose this community deliberately, and they stay, which means in resale, there's very, very low turnover here. There's a high pride of ownership. You have the mature trees and those timeless streetscapes that took 30 years to grow into what they are today. And it's not something that you can easily or really manufacture at all, because it takes 30 units for a community, 30 years for a community to mature that way. And so when you buy the legacy, you really are buying into something that already exists at the highest possible level. I do see some questions that are coming up there. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them into the Q&A. We'll address them at the very end. This here as you see, the site plan is where legacy lies within MILLCROFT. You can see how it's woven into the existing community rather than, kind of sitting on the edge of it. The legacy enclaves are positioned within the neighborhood, not outside of it, and so that distinction is really important. You could see it here in detail again, and we'll actually dive into the even more detail on the next slide. But what you see here is a couple of really important points to understand. Most new developments does take place on the periphery, right? Like agricultural lands that are turning into subdivisions, farmlands that are turning into subdivisions, and buyers, when they buy in those subdivisions, they're asked to be patient while the community really grows and completes around them. The legacy, we're not asking anyone to wait for anything. The neighborhood is already highly established, and the home within that neighborhood is brand new. And that combination, which I want to stress again, just doesn't exist anywhere else in Burlington right now, is what sets this apart. And you obviously have, some incredible amenities around. So Bronte Creek Provincial Park is just moments away. Burlington Waterfront is within easy reach. 5 championship golf courses nearby. Top ranked schools at every single level. Acclaimed dining and wellness and retail at your doorstep. So, the lifestyle that most communities spend years to try to build around is already fully formed here. So, it kind of comes hand in hand and standard with the address. Excuse me. One of the things that we spent a lot of time thinking about when we were designing these homes in jointly with HALLETT, and obviously that's something that's constantly on HALLETT's mind as they curate these new collection of homes, is who are we actually building these homes for? Our thesis is if we can identify and design product to specific buyer categories, we will find our buyers a lot easier when the projects hit the market. And so we've segmented our main buyer groups into 5. You have the Burlington Move Up family, speaks for itself. The Oakville migrators, so these are buyers that are cashing in on kind of big homes, highly expensive homes in Oakville, coming in here, getting the same quality home really, but at a lower price point, so they're able to capture and flip some of their equity into cash in their bank. You have the downsizing empty nester, the multi-generational family, the investor. Each of these buyers exist in your database right now. So each one of them may have been waiting for a product like this. So when we go through this, I want to challenge you to think about who comes to mind when we're talking about the legacy at MILLCROFT. Here we're looking at the streetscape render, and I want you to take a moment with this. This is kind of what it feels like to drive into your enclave. It's a very quiet, private cul-de-sac that has an exclusive collection of estate homes, neighbors who share a genuine sense of place without anyone being on top of each other, just because the homes are so large and the lots themselves are so big. And so that arrival experience really does take your breath away every single day. And from above, you can see how the legacy fits within the broader MILLCROFT community. The established tree canopies surrounding the site, the pond, the green space, the existing neighborhood fabric on all sides. This isn't a construction site in the field. This is an intimate collection of homes that is built inside one of the most established residential communities in Burlington today. Just taking a closer look at our first 2 releases that form our first release, the 2 enclaves. So you have the Cedar Bank and the Birchstone. Each one is a private cul-de-sac community of its own within the legacy. So you can see the pond facing lots here. Actually, these are them here. You have the pond facing lots, you have the ravine facing lots, and then you have kind of like a nature barrier between our homes on the kind of northeast end here. And you could see kind of the parks here. That's the recreational area. There's a couple of parks in the community. But Anyway, these are the lots that are going to be part of the first release, the ones highlighted here, some in the Birchstone and some of the Cedar Bank. And what I love about this community, I mentioned the term DNA before, because it's not a typical subdivision, you don't have, 100 homes where every home is the same exact lot size. And here, every lot is slightly nuanced different, and then every lot really has its own kind of DNA and heartbeat. So there's a lot here for everyone. This is the detailed layout for both enclaves. So you can see the Cedar Bank and the Birchstone there. Some lots would offer you ravine outlooks and walkout conditions. Some would face the pond, some would back onto the green space. Every lot here really does have its own character, and I would say there is no generic lot in this community, which really matters enormously when your client is making a decision at this price point. And we'll walk you obviously through specific lot opportunities if you're interested, kind of offline, not today, but feel free to reach out to our team to learn more about how each lot is different. This slide here is really one of the most important slides in the entire presentation. You can renovate a lot of things in a resale home, but you cannot renovate your way out of low ceilings. And the legacy is built with 9-foot ceilings in the basement, 10-foot ceilings on the main floor, 9-foot ceilings on the second floors. And that's a huge competitive advantage for these homes within the local resale market, because the local resale market, all of those homes were really framed at 8 or 9-foot ceilings on the main floor and 8-foot ceilings on the second floor, and generally slightly lower than 8-foot ceilings in most basements. And the structure of the home is obviously something that's decided the day it's framed. It's not something you can change down the road unless you completely gut it and strip it down to the bone and rebuild, which is just an astronomical amount of money. So that alone, this feature alone, is worth the conversation with every client who is weighing resale MILLCROFT against the legacy. And we're getting quite a bit of respondents from within the community itself saying they are thinking about upgrading into a newer home but don't want to leave the community, and this is something that they're strongly considering. The legacy in buying from HALLETT in general does empower you to craft a home that is individual to you, to your needs, through the HALLETT gallery. The customization available to every buyer is virtually limitless. On the aesthetic side, designer kitchen and bath upgrades and custom built-ins and millworks, and all of these features that you see listed here, everything is an option. HALLETT is a big proponent of that because they want the home that you buy to be just that, be your home. And not only will every lot be a little bit different, but we believe that every home will be different because each buyer will make it their own in their own way, which we're very excited about. The architectural standard at the legacy is immediately visible from the street, I'd say. You have the stone facades, you have the casement windows, the roof lines and proportions that feel like they belong in the neighborhood that they are entering into. Every home really is designed to reflect the highest standard of craftsmanship while contributing to the visual harmony of the enclave around it. So you're not really getting like a developer here that's just building homes. We're really focused on the streetscape. We want the streetscape and that animation of homes at grade to be highly, highly profound for not only you as you drive up to your home, but also for people who are just driving by into the community. Diving into our collections, we have two collections. There's the Signature Collection on the 50-foot lots, and the Prestige Collection on the 60-foot lots. 2-story homes, bungalows, bungaloft across both. We're going to walk through the specific design now, but the short version is this, really. Wherever your client's lifestyle looks like, there's a home for them in this community. And as we go through the Signature Collection, you'll see that this is, as I said, our 50-foot collection, 2 to 7 bedrooms, 2.5 to 6.5 baths. We talked about the ceiling heights. The home sizes would range from just about 2,100 square feet to about 4,500 square feet. 2 to 3 car garages, optional elevators, 2-story designs that offer spacious living areas with high ceilings, and we talked about the level of finish. The bungalow and the bungalow options for those who want that elegance of main floor living without compromise, you'd get it there. The unique thing is that there's almost no developer in a major GTA city that is building bungalows anymore. They don't make economic sense for developers because they don't maximize the full developable footprint for the site. For HALLETT's perspective, again, we are designing to a customer, and so the economics are secondary. Obviously, not saying they're not important, but the economics are very much secondary. We want to get buyers who are excited to join this already incredible community and make MILLCROFT their home. In the Signature Collection, there's really 3 distinct elevations for every 50-foot, 2-story home, and each one really speaks a different architectural language while maintaining the same level of craftsmanship. You have the traditional stone and brick, as you saw here, the French-inspired forms, the clean contemporary line. Your client chooses the exterior facade and the exterior elevation that reflects who they truly are, and the interior bones are the same, and the exceptional standard kind of runs across every single elevation. The third, the bungalow offering within that Signature Collection really does deserve special attention. You have the brand new estate bungalows that are, as I said, almost impossible to find in the GTA right now. For those clients who are right sizing, the empty nesters, or the buyer who want that single floor living without sacrificing a single thing in terms of quality or space, this is, I think, the only place in the west end of the GTA where you can find it. There's 3 elevation options, each one architecturally distinct and beautifully crafted for your clients. Now jumping into our Prestige Collection, where we have our 60-foot lots, 3 to 6 bedrooms, 3.5 to 6.5 baths, 10-foot main floor ceilings, as I said, with homes ranging from 35 to 4,500 square feet. We may have some larger ones as well, just finalizing that. 2 to 3 car garages with optional elevators, same as the 50s. And this really here is the pinnacle of what the Legacy offers. Huge grand scale, premium inclusions, lot depths that accommodate pool on select sites. By the way, that's true for our 50-foot lots as well. Many of our lots are pool-sized lots. So for your most discerning clients, whether you're looking at our Prestige Collection or whether you're looking at our Signature Collection, this is really the conversation that you want to have. So here there's 4 elevation options for the 60-foot 2-story Prestige homes. And again, you're seeing the breadth of the architectural expression here, and I would say it's quite remarkable, from traditional stone manor to the French chateau to clean transitional contemporary farmhouse style homes. Each one is a statement home, right? Like when you look at these, each one is stunning, and that's what makes them belong in MILLCROFT is how beautiful they are. We are very certain and quite confident that your client will find their kind of architectural language somewhere in this range of homes. And then we have the grand bungalofts, which are the 60-foot bungalofts, and I think are kind of the perfect answer to anyone that's asking, like, is one level enough to have everything I need on? The answer is absolutely yes. And when you'll see these layouts, you'll understand exactly what I mean. You have these expansive main floor living premium inclusions. We do have an option to add some loft configurations as well for the multi-generational families, whether you're an empty nester and you want to kind of scale into a big home but not have the stairs, or buyers that just want the best version of that one level living. You won't find anything that can come even close to that. And this is our other elevation here, just again clean, contemporary, and I would say quite unmistakably HALLETT. Every home at the Legacy does come with a full smart home package. the smart light switches, the smart door locks, smart floor sensors, smart doorbells and videos, and the thermostat and the sensors and the smart home apps. All of it is integrated, and in many cases, none of it is an upgrade. So the home really is intelligent on day one. One of the details that I think matters most to buyers in this segment, and that often gets overlooked in a presentation, is, you know, how does the community age over time? And so what we've decided is that, when we're thinking about the common areas, the roadways, the sidewalks, the landscape spaces within the legacy enclaves, how do we make sure that they are maintained to the kind of level that this community and these enclaves really require to show their best selves and their best assets every single day, not only for the next year or 2 years, but decades ahead? The architecture obviously does a huge lift here, but we've made a commitment to ongoing stewardship that ensures that the community looks and feels the way it does the day you move in. We want it to feel that way permanently, and so um, we want to protect your client's investment is in these incredible homes. So here you could see, like our what is the capability of the HALLETT gallery. This kitchen, the bones, the ceiling height, the proportions, the relationship between the island and the surrounding spaces. All of these come from the architectural decisions and the interior design decisions that HALLETT made before a single finish was selected. The finished layer on top is what you can make your own, and the result really is a home that feels entirely custom. Like when I look at these renderings and when I see, and obviously I know the level of detail and customizations available to buyers, this is you buying a custom home and not paying the custom home price. You can see here the closet and the home office, two spaces that have become, in our opinion, non-negotiable for buyers at this level. You have that walk-in closet, um, um, that functions as a room almost on its own right, and the home office with a scale and materiality to support a work from home situation, or even just kids at home doing homework or whatnot. Here you could see one of the renderings for our primary bedrooms, and I'd note again the ceiling heights, the proportions of the room, the relationship between the fireplace, the terrace access, and the sleeping areas. This is really a space a buyer returns to every evening, and at the Legacy, it's been designed to really feel like a retreat, not just a room. The primary ensuite, spa-inspired, freestanding soaker tub, as you can see here on the left, walk-in steam shower, heated marble tiles, dual vanities. This is the kind of bathroom that's, again, used to require a custom home build to achieve. Here, you are able to customize it in any way you see fit to make it your own. And then, just looking at the rec areas, you're not just kind of confined to the four walls uh, of the home. The lower level could be transformed into a golf simulator, a home theater, a wine cellar, full entertainment suite. Just you have the backyard on our deep plots. That becomes really the extension of the living space, and that rivals anything you'll see in the resale market. The perfect for hospitality, and all of these homes are starting from about $2 million. That is the entry point to this community, and again, one of the most exclusive new construction communities in the west end of the GTA. I'll address in a moment that is an entry point. That entry point truly represents genuine value when measured against what's available in the resale market today. So again, whenever we're talking about the Burlington move-up family, who have been watching MILLCROFT for years, the Oakville buyer who wants more space in a real neighborhood, the empty nester who wants to right size, the multi-generational family who needs a home designed around how modern families actually live. No comparable product exists anywhere in Burlington right now unless you're building a custom home. and your best clients truly have been waiting for this conversation, and there's no better moment than having those conversations right now as we gear up to the launch. So what would be the most logical next step? Obviously, review your database today with one question in mind: who's been waiting for something like this? You can proceed to book a private appointments. We are going to open our sales center for pre-appointments in the next week or two. We're going to keep in touch with everyone here. We'll give you the product knowledge. You'll have the pricing, the detail, the lot by lot context that is important to have, so you can have a very important conversation with your client, or obviously with clients directly. And what we think is a massive advantage here is that the agents and buyers that move into this community first, they will have the best choice of lots available. So that window is about to be open, and it won't be open for a long time before we kind of open it broader to a greater group of clients and realtors. So right now really is the time.